What's up, y'all? Reggie here, the Fitness Studio, coming at you with a video real quick, hopefully real quick. Get this conversation started. With this one, we're going to be talking about autophagy. All right? For some of y'all out there, you're like, ooh, okay, autophagy. Let's see what he has to say about this. Other people are like, what? You know, so anyway, autophagy. Auto, meaning self, obviously. Phagy, phagocytosis, phagocyte, phagophore. Sometimes we pronounce it differently than that, but anyway, for my biology folks out there, you know, means to eat. Phage, phagy, phagy, it means to eat. So it's eating of yourself. So this is a process where your body takes cells and the contents of the cell, all right? This is a working cell, or some of the things, organelles inside of your cell that might be malfunctioning, might be proteins that are not, you know, formed properly, etc., etc., etc. So usually this is a process for things that are either weak, malfunctioning, diseased, etc., etc. This is your body breaking it down, all right, at a cellular level and reusing or burning those things for energy, all right, burning those things for energy. But you reuse, you break down proteins to their amino acids, you might burn some for energy, you might build other things out of them, you might build some enzymes, some hormones, whatever, all right? So it's eating of yourself. And this is your body's way of naturally detoxing and cleansing itself. You'd be dead a long time ago if you didn't do this. So to jump into this, one of the main points with this video is I want people to understand that if you read about autophagy, not let Joe and Jane Blow, I don't care if they're doctors or whatever else, don't let them tell you, go read it yourself. Go to Google, type in autophagy, PubMed. That takes you to PubMed, where you can actually read scientific data. Or go to Google Scholar, because I keep trying to tell people, just because you Google something, that's not research, okay? So go to Google Scholar, or go Google and type in autophagy, PubMed, and start reading. You'll have months upon months of stuff to read. References within references. It's a wonderful rabbit hole to jump into. One of the things you will find is the term basal. All right, like basal metabolic rate, all right? You have a baseline level of metabolism. It doesn't matter if you're moving, it doesn't matter if you're running, it doesn't matter if you're at work. You have a baseline amount of functionality going on in your cells. That's how we can estimate how many calories you burn in any given day. And you have a baseline amount of autophagy. It doesn't matter if you fast, it doesn't matter what you eat, etc., etc., etc. All right, you have a baseline amount of autophagy. So one of the important things that I try to get people to understand is that you do not need to fast. There is no magic hour, amount of hours where you automatically click into autophagy, etc., etc. This is a part of your, mostly a part of your catabolic state. This is the opposite of anabolic, right? When you eat, you're well fed, you're in store and build mode, that's anabolism. After that wanes off, you start reaching catabolism. This is when you start burning fat. Every human on the planet pretty much burns fat from their fat cells every day, unless you're just ridiculously overeating, all right? This is when you start burning fat. This is when you start doing other catabolic processes, and this is when more of your autophagy starts, all right? You do not need to fast. You do not need to worry about if you add a little creamer, if you have a quote-unquote metabolic response. If your insulin went up 2 minutes ago, you're not shutting down autophagy for the rest of your day. You're not even shutting down, depending on how much you did, you're not shutting down autophagy, all right? So, and to touch on that subject, anabolism, as far as I'm concerned, this is the way I tell people to look at it. Both of these things are equally as important. You'd be dead a long time ago if you did not have catabolism and if you did not have autophagy taking place ever since you came into creation. You'd have all kinds of stuff screwed up inside of your body. There's more than one type of autophagy also. We'll talk about that later. But the one most people are talking about is this basic, you know, your body is marking, we'll talk about that too, because we're not really sure about how all this works to begin with, all right? But we do know this, because we can trace the markers and what we can understand about autophagy from looking at it in other things like yeast and other eukaryotic cells, which are cells with a nucleus, all right? And we can see what happens beforehand and downstream, all right? We can match those things going on in the human body, all right? So we can know a little bit about autophagy, and this is still kind of a young thing for us, all right? But you can read about it yourself. and you will see that there's a baseline amount of autophagy for everybody. So ignore all this crap of people trying to scare you into doing some certain type of diet or timing to increase autophagy. If you're not one of those people that are trying to make money off of it, you are repeating information from one of those people. And it's just an intellectually dishonest lie, all right? And this is what these people are not going to want to talk about. They're not going to want to talk about that. They're also not going to want to talk about this part of autophagy, which is that we're pretty sure, all right? You can read about this too from someplace, maybe like PubMed, Google Scholar, and not from Dr. So-and-so who has this special book and diet that they're a product that they're trying to get you to feel like you need to buy, all right? So go read about it yourself. These people know that you're not going to, all right? But one important thing about autophagy is that this process is also used by cancer cells to help them proliferate, stay alive, spread, all right? Nobody's really talking about that. You heard anybody talk about that? Some of you intermittent fasting folks out there, you come in from Joe Sixpack's website, Dr. So-and-so with his crap riddle book, all right? You're not going to hear any of these people talk about this. You're not going to hear these people talk about the post-absorptive state, which is after you eat and you digest your food and you finish storing it, you start going into the catabolic processes. Every human on the planet, burning fat pretty much every day that you eat still. You all right? You store fat every day, you burn fat every day from your fat cells. You are successful every day, unless you are literally eating almost around the clock or just stuffing yourself and just trying to gain weight, all right? So anyway, I digress. But that's some of the important things I need people to understand. And again, this is going to be something that I'm going to be covering as long as I'm alive, as far as I'm concerned. But you watch. These people are not talking about this stuff yet. Go to any of their channels. Go to any of their books. See how much they're talking about it. And when they start talking about it, they're going to start creating another false narrative about it. Yeah, but see, insulin does this and blah, blah, blah. It's all a bunch of bullcrap. All right? So the reason why there's a chip on my shoulder when I explain some of this stuff, when I'm talking smack about it on social media or whatever, it's because 99% of people in this industry are full of crap and they're lying. And it's about making money. All right? They might care about you. They might not even understand what they're doing. Some people truly, I think, do not understand. They're successful. They're helping other people be successful. All right? And they are repeating information from people that are lying. And it doesn't matter what you do. You can lie to a person. You get them to change how they eat, get them to change the amount of food that they eat, get them in a caloric deficit. You don't have to talk about calories. You don't have to talk about a caloric deficit. You don't have to talk about exercise. But heck, if you get them exercising, that's another thing that increases your autophagy. All right, so if you wanna increase your autophagy, don't overeat and exercise. And we'll talk about this stuff later. We'll talk about the data, the science. But I just want to get this video going. I want to get it going because I'm excited. I'm in a good mood today. I want to get this thing out there, get it going. All right, so I want people to understand this because again, nobody's keeping track of the failures. And just because this stuff is in front of your face every day on social media, it doesn't mean that it's true. It doesn't mean that these people are in the majority. You have a handful, a small amount of doctors out there trying to make it sound like they have this special information. They don't. They are in the minority, all right? And their protection mechanism as to why other doctors are not coming along and agreeing with them is because of Big Pharma. They don't want you to know the secrets. They're trying to keep you sick, all right? This is the reason why relatively nobody agrees with them. You go look up some of these other doctors that are doing this stuff. All right? And everybody talks about Dr. Yoshi. I salute Dr. Yoshi. He got a Nobel Peace Prize from studying autophagy and yeast. That's cool. We needed to know that. I don't think I've seen anywhere. Show me where Dr. Yoshi is trying to say what everybody else is trying to say about autophagy from these studies, all right? You're not resetting your metabolism. You're not resetting your immune system by fasting 72 hours. All right? You can't look at rat studies either because mice metabolism is like 7-8 times faster than a human. So they don't eat for 2 days, they lose like 25% body weight. And 2 days for them is like 14 days for you. You think your autophagy are going to go up if you eat 14 days? If you don't eat for 14 days, your autophagy has to go up. Or you're going to die even faster. Right? Read about it. Everybody experiences autophagy. I'm coming at all of you quack charlatans, but more importantly, it's not about y'all. It's about the fact that nobody keeps track of the failures. And people out there trying to help people understand the truth. let's get information going to people. Let's help people learn how to communicate this stuff, all right? Help more people understand the truth about this stuff. You can do intermittent fasting. You can do low fat, low carb, high carb, low carb, keto, vegetarian, vegan. And it doesn't change anything about what I'm talking about. I don't have anything to sell you on this. But anyway, I wanted to get that video going. You can tell I'm a little bit excited. We got some other stuff coming. I'm gonna keep this going just like all my other videos. It's gonna be the Autophagy playlist. Eventually we'll be talking about some of those studies, talking about some of the data, hopefully interviewing some of those people, some of these doctors. All right, maybe there's some doctors out there that that might want to get on here that most of y'all haven't heard of before, all right? Everybody's like, oh yeah, what do you know about it? You're not a doctor. Well, you know what I do know? I know how to read. Because there's this weird thing that happens when people try to get into this industry. You know, when you get into the health and fitness industry trying to make money, especially this industry, people's reading comprehension tends to go down. They tend to skip over the parts in the studies that they quote to you using real information, just not in a real way. They tend to skip over the things that counteract the part of the metabolism that they're trying to over sensationalize to make money off of. We're going to prove it to you. I'm going to prove it. It's part of this channel. It's not me, it's the data. I'm just excited to be talking about the human body because this is life. This is the vessel for the soul, the mind, whatever, the tool, all right, for the soul and the mind, whatever, for all my tool fans out there. I've been on this stuff, man, since I was a little kid. Everybody that knows me knows I've been a science nerd since I was a kid, reading encyclopedias. I take the A encyclopedia for animal or whatever. I take the A encyclopedia with me to the store and read it because we didn't have cell phones and Google back then. All right, nothing special about me, but I got a chip on my shoulder because a lot of these folks out there are getting real, you know, real arrogant. You got one doctor, all right, he's out there calling people stupid if you believe in calories in, calories out. If you don't believe what he says, he's calling you stupid. And then you got other people reading and repeating this garbage, all right, and they're getting chips on their shoulders too and talking smack in this group or that group or whatever. We're going to put an end to it with the truth and love. So anyway, love, peace, bacon grease, donut yeast, stop the madness, please. And that bacon grease and yeast to the least. All right, don't do too much of that. But stop the madness, please. See y'all next time around, and I'm out.